Hey photo students, it's Miss Taylor. I'm going to show you how to take several photos and put them into one photograph, like a multi-shot, kind of a long, really cool sequential image. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and jump into Photoshop and open up my photos that I want to use for this kind of long panoramic image. I've put all of my photos on the desktop in a little folder called Multishot. I'm going to go ahead and open those up all at the same time. Yes, that's me, being goofy. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to crop one of my photos. So I'm going to go to the crop tool, which is the third button down on the left-hand side. And I'm just going to pick a dimension that I want. You could do rectangle, you could do square. I'm going to go ahead and do a square. So I'm just going to do 4 by 4. I mean, you could certainly do 6 by 6, 3 by 3. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go ahead and crop and center and double click. Okay. And let's go ahead and do that for the rest of them. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. I'm going to stretch this out so I can see what I'm working with. Now this one I didn't zoom out, or my photographer I should say didn't zoom out far enough. So my fingers are going to get cut off like that because I'm working with this gap here. So I think for this one I'm going to make it intentional, like my hand was supposed to get cut off. Sometimes that's just what you have to work with. And the last one. So if you're paying attention, you have noticed that I used 5 photographs for this sequence. So what that means is I'm going to do a little bit of math for the next step. So let's head up to Image, Canvas Size, and let's go ahead and make our canvas that we're going to put all 5 photos on. So if each photo is 4 inches in width, and we want all 5 photos to fit across, that means that we need to multiply 5 photos times 4 inches, which will be 20 inches. The height's not going to change unless, of course, you wanted to do more of a square image where you have 2 on top of each other, which could kind of look cool. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this image and just move it over so that we can put all the other images next to it. So let's click on that. And you'll notice that it stretches it way out. And if we did our math correctly, we will be able to fit the other 4 photos in here. Before we do that, let's go ahead and make sure that all of these tabs are windows. And in order to do that, we're just going to go up to Window, Arrange, and then Float in all windows. And you'll see now they're not connected anymore. Okay, let's start moving those images in there. Let's go to our Move tool, which is the first button on the right-hand side, and let's go ahead and put those in there. Now it's stretched this one out, which is okay because we can always crop that later. It's always okay to be a little bit bigger. And what I have on is my snap under the View option, and Photoshop is so smart that it can just snap it into place and guess where you want it to go. Okay, let's minimize that one so we don't get confused with all these windows open. Let's move the next one over. And I must have done something wrong with this one. I'll figure out that one later. And they all fit. Somewhere along the way I must have done my math wrong, but in this case what we can do is just go ahead and modify. So I'm going to hit Command T and stretch this one out, and same with this one. Command T, and then I'm going to hold down my Shift key so I don't distort myself. Move that over. Make this one a little bigger. Okay. And I'm just right-clicking to find the layer that I want. You could always go in your Layers palette and find that too. And I'm going to use my arrow keys to kind of bump them over. And that is basically how you do a multi-shot. There's some adjusting It takes a lot of practice. As you can see, I've been doing this for a long time, but I must have cropped with the wrong dimension at some point, and that's okay. Just adjust and figure it out along the way. Otherwise, you can just go back to those original images, which are right here, and recrop. If you want the background all to be the same color, what you can do is go to the one that is the one that needs the most adjusting, hit Command L, and just move your sliders here until you find a better match. Right click, Command L. This needs to be lined up a little bit. Same here. And that's how you do a multi-shot. Go ahead and hit Command Shift S to save it. Leave it as a PSD in case you want to make any adjustments later. Always hit OK to maximize compatibility. If you hit cancel, none of this will save, and if you X out of Photoshop, you will lose your work. So make sure to hit OK. And you're done. Congratulations. Have fun.